So, what rabbit hole were you?
Last night, like, me and Amy went to Walmart after we finished eating.
Right, yes.
We spent probably 2 hours in that Walmart before we went home.
Navy Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds feasible.
Just walking around looking at different things. We get to the video game section, the movie section.
Mm-hmm. My favorite section.
And there was this movie, it looked like a ripoff of like a Transformers movie.
Yeah.
It was like Fall of Skyline or something. I don't even know. I've never even heard of it. It looked like a bad Transformer. And Amy's like, oh, y'all should totally do like reviews of bad movies and all of that. And it just made me think of like all the bad movies, because it was like there was another one. It was like Werewolves of the Third Reich, and just
was it just called Skyline? This?
No, it had Skyline in it. It was like Fall of Skyline or something like that. It's like has this huge robot like as like the main picture of the robot.
I'm looking up movies that have Skyline in the title.
Yeah.
Oh, Beyond Skyline.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you read the description of
I shall.
Beyond Skyline for me?
Where is the plot summary?
Plot summary.
Okay, well, this is all that's listed at right now on IMDb. A tough-as-nails detective embarks on a relentless pursuit to free his son from a nightmarish alien warship. I like it. Simple to the point.
Yeah. It reminds me of True Detective without all the good character development.
Yeah, that. Yep.
So, let's say...
So we're doing a thing, we're watching and reviewing bad movies.
I'm considering it.
I adore watching bad movies. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to stay with a friend tonight, and that's pretty much our goal, is to just watch terrible movies all night.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we're starting it right now, but I do want to do it eventually, maybe as a seasonal thing.
I already have some in my...
I am never watching Troll
bucket.
2 again. I am
putting
my foot down on that
one. We can just go ahead and review that ourselves. It's a great movie. Everybody should watch it. Troll 2. A great sequel.
To Troll 1.
To Troll 1. Absolutely 100% related movies.
Back in the day when this show started, like we used to do top fives at the end of every show. And I'd be like, and my number one, everyone, Troll 2. Good night, everybody.
Nice. I just, it's one of those things where it's like, I admire that movie in a sense for like, I got an idea, guys. Let's call ourselves Troll 2, even though we're not related at all to the Troll movie. It just makes me so happy.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
So bad.
I love it's like, and then they're immediately like, because like the stuff that they're like, for the premise of the movie, it's like, there's this little boy whose grandpa's like dead, and I think actually like in hell or something. I don't know. It's really weird. But it's like there's these goblins, not trolls, that like they feed people like this weird green. It's literally just like green Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And that like turns them into plants so that they can eat them or something.
Yeah,
or some stuff
much.
Can turn them into plants. Basically, they just want to eat people, like whatever.
Yeah. Plant people.
Yeah, they want to eat plant people, and like it's weird.
It
like,
is very.
But yeah,
very weird.
and then so this little boy, he's like trying to stop everybody, and they're like, "You're just being." You're being mean and rude to all these people. They're just trying to be nice. And then at the end, he's like, I did it. I proved it. And he keeps talking to his grandpa's ghost throughout the movie. And then it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
So you should watch it.
I'd rather watch The Room. I've never watched The Room.
I would love to watch The Room.
Have you watched it
I've
before?
never seen it.
So that might be our first
What is
one.
it? It's like, Lisa, you're tearing me apart.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, like it's one of those, like, that's actually a movie, like, it's like I have a list of movies that I just need to watch because I love cinema. I love cinema history. So like obviously there's like a bunch of classics I need to watch, but then I consider The Room a classic in its own regard. So
Classic of trash.
Yes, classic of trash.
It's a trash movie, 100%.
I really want to go see the
Disaster Artist.
Disaster Artist. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, it would be cool to see The Room and then
go watch that. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Is I wanted to watch The Room first before I saw that.
That would be good. So that's an idea for us down the road.
Yeah, another thing I love watching really bad horror movies. or at least like some more like obscure ones, because sometimes they're like, okay, this isn't terrible.
Yeah.
And then after I finished watching one, I like asked my friends on Snapchat. I was like, hey, if anyone has suggestions for a bad horror movie for me to watch, let me know. And one of them, by the way, don't watch this movie if you're underage. There's some risque scenes. But she was like, watch Pumpkinhead 2. It's amazing. And I was like, okay, this is probably really bad. Because I was like, I feel like I've heard of that before, and I'm pretty sure it's like notoriously really bad. I watched it. It was just something else.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that like the monster is all like it's like a practical, it's like makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And of course it's dated, but for the time it came out in, which was it was a 70s movie, I believe. It actually looked really good for the time it was made. So I was like, the rest of the movie is terrible. The sound mixing in it was awful. Like there were times when the music would be so loud that the people and I was like, what are they saying? What are they saying? But if you were to watch it again, some risque scenes, don't watch it if you're underage. It's like it would be like an R-rated movie in today's standard. Yeah. Actually, I think it probably was. Well, actually, no. When did R rating come around?
Came around in like the 80s, I think.
Okay. Well, whatever. It's R. But yeah, like if you were to watch it, I would watch it just for the practical effects of the monster. Like it was, I'll show you a picture of it. 'Cause like I was like, this movie's terrible, but I greatly respect the work that went into this.
Except for the mixing guy.
I mean, I meant like the monster, just the monster.
Yeah, I know, but I'm looking at you, sound mixer guy. And while we're on sound, last week's episode sounded like trash.
Sorry.
And we're sorry.
Sorry, that's me.
We're sorry. Allie has reformed her ways.
I
and I'm using the same mic, so we don't have any issues.
All right, so like, yes, it looks dated, but for the time it came out in,
yeah, it doesn't look that bad.
And also, like in motion, it's impressive.
It doesn't look like a pumpkin head. I can just say that.
But yeah, it's like because it's like a dude.
goblin.
It's a dude in a suit. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like a pumpkin head. I don't know why it's called that. Or I think it was like there was like a guy who was like he if I'm remembering the thing correctly, like Pumpkinhead's like a monster that only like they accidentally summon Pumpkinhead, but like it was something to do with there's a poor kid who was like horribly disfigured and he got made fun of a lot. Yeah. I think that like he had the name Pumpkinhead, and there's some kind of correlation there. I don't remember.
He looks like a nun in that picture.
He's got like a thing over his head.
I know, but like from this angle,
I know, I understand. But yeah, no, it's like it's a really bad movie. Don't watch it.
So
just look up a picture of the monster.
Yeah, if you're writing a movie or you're writing an email, you want the grammar to be right.
Yeah. How do I do that?
You need Grammarly.
Ooh.
Now, anytime we have a sponsor on our show, it's because we actually use the sponsor.
Yep.
Okay. I write probably over 100 emails each week. I don't want my Facebook posts to be crappy.
Don't say the wrong your.
Yeah, I don't want any of that. I want to know where my commas go and all that stuff. And Grammarly is what you need to use. For the listeners of the Nerd Cave, Grammarly is offering a free download of the Grammarly software. Now, it will check your spelling. It'll check your commas, your semicolons, all of that stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm going to need that because I was just trying to type in short sword, and I typed in short broad. I mixed up the W or the R and the O. So I need Grammarly.
Could fix it right there.
Yeah.
It is great. You can use it. If you're using it on Google, it's like built in right into the web browser and everything. You just download the extension and all that good stuff. It can be used anywhere except for like Google Docs. I don't know why it won't work in Google Docs. It doesn't make any sense.
It might be because they already have like an autocorrect feature in their stuff. I guess
so. I'm hoping one day it'll be integrated and it'll be just like the perfect marriage of everything. It's amazing. You can check it out. It's free. They got a free side. They got a pay side. Check out the free one. See if it's something you want to do. If you want to check it out, go over to Grammarly today. Go to getgrammarly.com/nerdcave. Again, that's getgrammarly.com/nerdcave to download Grammarly for free. Now, I love Grammarly, so you should try it. See if you like it. It even has an extension, a keyboard on your phone now. So you sign up and all that, get it on your computer, get it on your phone. So when you're talking, you're trying to be all fancy.
Yeah, I'll talk all fancy like.
Talk all fancy like you're a sweet southern gentleman that knows commas and all of that. This is the perfect place. I know I email a lot from my phone.
I do too.
I want to sound like I know what I'm doing, okay? Mm-hmm. I want to see if I'm missing a comma somewhere. This lets me know.
Yeah, that's probably like one of the commas. It's commas and semicolons, I think, are the two most misused punctuation marks.
Yeah. So.
But not me. I know how to use my punctuation correctly. Thank you.
Yeah, I was never taught, so.
No. By the time I was going through school, like, they really, like, in fact, like, it wasn't until, like, my 8th grade year, like, we really learned how to actually, like, write essays. We were just so focused on grammar.
Yeah,
which we were behind the ball on that one, but
ours was the opposite. We were so focused on passing the FCAT, standardized test.
I hate standardized tests.
We were focused on.
Yeah, we didn't take the FCAT. We took a different standard test. It was like the Iowa State standard test or something like that.
But we live in Florida.
I don't know why. It's a private school thing, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, private school.
Standardized testing is so dumb.
It is. It's like, I mean, because like you are like a teacher studying to become one. And I'm just like, I mean, like even before I was studying to become one, like standardized testing is so dumb because it all it really does is like when it comes to schools and everything is that teachers can't focus on teaching kids what they should be able to teach them. They have to focus on making sure they can pass a test, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that we're so focused on teaching knowledge and just follow me on this trail of logic.
I will.
Okay.
Yes.
Knowledge is something that can. It takes a while, but it's not anything that's new. Not anything that really develops a person as a person.
Yeah.
The softer skills like values, morals, character, art, music, those things.
Yeah.
Those actually develop you as a person.
And also, like, there have been plenty of studies done that show that whenever students engage with arts, especially like music and stuff, their performance in all their other academic fields increases a good amount.
Yeah, like my students that I teach, you know, of course, if you don't know, I'm a band director and everything. Majority of my students, I would say 80% are either in an honors class at least or an AP class. I have several students that every class that they take is an AP class.
That's a lot of work. I was kind of in that boat. The only AP classes I didn't take was math. Yeah. Which I didn't care about. But like all my classes were AP. Yeah. And like it's a lot of work. Also, if you have the choice between AP and dual enrollment, always choose dual enrollment.
It's much easier.
It's so much easier, and the credits also transfer easier as well.
Yeah. Plus, when you pass the class in dual enrollment,
then you actually get like they've changed it now where like you have to maybe like the first dual enrollment class I took, you pass the class, you're done. And then like the other ones I think it's like I had to write, or maybe one of them I had to write a paper, but I would much rather write like 20 10-page papers and take another AP exam. I only took one and it was the worst thing.
Yeah, the AP exams are awful.
They're so ridiculous. And also like whenever I was taking it, the AP class I was taking, it was actually no, I take this back. This was not for that class. Some of the AP classes, they're a 1 semester thing. Yeah. And then the AP test isn't until the end of the next semester.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like, I'm teaching AP music theory right now. And it is essentially me having to teach 2 years worth of a college course in 1 year.
It's so dumb.
And it's impossible. It is impossible
really
to do. So neither here nor there. Okay. Standardized testing is bad.
It's bad. It's dumb. Like I understand a limited amount. Like I understand the purpose of them, but they became there was too much of it.
Well, yeah, and it's like, oh, we have to compete with the world. Well, the world, like the other countries that are competing against us and everything, they are also putting focus on the arts.
Yes,
and that's why they are so more advanced than us.
Yeah, I'm glad that STEAM is becoming a thing. If you don't know, like it was originally STEM, which was science, technology, engineering and math. And now it's STEAM, so it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Yeah. So I'm glad that that's becoming more prevalent in schools.
Well, the arts are always the smallest part.
Oh no, absolutely. Like I'm not saying that like I'm not saying that they're making everything's great now. It's like at least they're acknowledging we exist.
Yeah. So if you want your child, if you have children, okay, and this is straight up from a teacher. I've been teaching for 6 years.
Yep.
Went to college for 4 years, got a degree, highly effective. I'm not tooting my own horn, but if you want your child to be successful, get them in some kind of arts. If it's choir, if it's the theater, if it's dance, if it's band, or if it's, actually painting or sculpting or something, the sooner you get them doing something like that, the better off they will be as they grow up.
Absolutely. Like it really does, like it helps students excel in other fields. Like it's
just do it. Trust me.
Yeah, my high school, not to call anybody out Catholic high school, they the arts was how do you say, very small.
Yeah.
And then there were some issues with our theater program that I won't get into because that's a whole mess in of itself.
You can tell me off air, because now I'm curious.
It was just, let's just say it was a lot of politics.
Yeah, okay. Pretty much anything.
Yeah. To put it nice little, put it cleanly, put it nicely.
Yeah.
It's politics.
Yeah.
And then whenever, because it's, like they had one before we were there, but they hadn't had one for years. Some of my friends actually started up my freshman year, and then after we graduated, it wasn't there anymore. So, yeah. I'll just say that.
Now, we were talking about the bad movie show and everything.
Love bad movies.
We talked about Nerd Caves and Dragons today and how excited we are to film that.
I'm very excited.
The other seasonal content we're doing is Cooking with Robbie.
Yes.
Me and Amy were talking last night.
Oh, no, yes.
Okay. And, like, Robbie's wanting to do it, and I hadn't talked to Robbie about this, so everybody's getting this first. Only Robbie does a 8-episode Cooking with Robbie. I want Amy to do an 8-episode Cooking with Amy.
Ooh.
But it's going to be extremely punny.
I love
episodes.
it. I love it.
Because we were talking about
puns are the greatest.
Have you ever watched the YouTuber that does Nerdy Nummies?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I've heard of it, yes.
She's really, really good show and everything. I think it's really good. And Amy was talking about her, and I'm like, oh, you're talking about Rachel Ray. And she's like, no. And she said her name. I'm like, Rachel Ray is the only chef there ever is. And then we started talking about her making a cookbook, but it's like poorly photoshopped, like she's just holding a plate and like they photoshopped like burritos on there and like a very small sombrero. Yeah. And it's cooking Mexican food the gringo way. And like we started making all these puns, and I was like, it would be hilarious if you did a cooking show. And she seemed pretty excited about it. I want to do it. So if you want to see Amy do a punny cooking show, then let us know in the comments below. What do you think?
I love it. I'm just curious to see how Robbie will be like.
Well, he only wanted to do 8 episodes.
Yeah, no. I mean, that was the thing, is that there's supposed to only be 8 episodes. So I don't know how long each episode for Nerd Caves and Dragons is going to be.
Well, it's one of those things is where, like, we do a season of that, and then we have...
That's my thing, is, like, that my guess is that to keep the episodes down in length, they'll probably have to be, like, a season 1 of Nerd Caves and Dragons, and then it'll bleed over into a season 2.
We'll figure that out.
I don't know, because we haven't recorded it yet.
Yeah. All right, so last story, and I know this won't interest you a ton, but it was a pretty big thing. Vince McMahon, do you know who Vince McMahon is?
The name sounds familiar.
He's the CEO of WWE and everything.
Okay.
He's been around forever in the wrestling business. Vince McMahon is bringing back the Extreme Football League in 2020. Back in like 2001, something like that, he made the Extreme Football League, and it tanked like hard.
Oh, look up some.
But now he's sold off $100 million worth of stock in WWE to recreate the Extreme Football League.
Why?
And he came out this week and announced everything. There will be 8 teams. There will be 40 men on the roster, and there will be a 10-game season. And this is his quote: "It will be shorter, faster paced, family-friendly games that represented professional football reimagined." Now,
so because I'm reading about it right now. From what my understanding is, like they got wrestling people to play football.
There was a crossover. I didn't really watch XFL at all, so I'm not sure what it really originally was. It just went really, really bad.
It was conceived as an outdoor football league that would take place during the NFL offseason, promoters having fewer, blah, 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 blah. The league had 8 teams, blah, 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 operated as a single entity. Okay, can you tell me, like, what it actually was? What was it?
It was extreme football.
Clearly, yes. The opening, it doesn't actually say. Contrary to popular belief, the X in XFL did not stand for extreme.
Maybe not.
It's not for extreme as an extreme football league. When the league was first organized, it was originally supposed to stand for Extreme Football League, but no E in the front. What?
That's so dumb.
Oh, however, there was already a league in formation with the same name as that, so promoters wanted to make sure that everyone knew the X did not actually stand for anything. I see. So it's like, it's Football League X. So they couldn't say it was Extreme Football because, Extreme Football League was already a thing. Okay, I get you.
Now, what was interesting about all of this, if you kept up with any of the NFL dealings this past year, there was a whole lot of controversy about kneeling during the national anthem and social issues that were being brought onto the field, and some owners and the president got involved, and it was just a bunch of hoopla. Okay, and it took a very long time for them to even get something where it was something at least civil about all of this. Well, from Vince McMahon himself, he said, "Whatever our rules are, everyone will abide by them." So, and one of the rules is there is no political stuff brought on the field. You will not kneel during the national anthem, and if you do, you will be fired.
That's interesting.
So it's putting it right there, and they will not hire any players that have a criminal record.
That's good.
So
I honestly don't know that this is going to do well.
Oh, I don't think it's going to do well at all.
Especially like with that, like I'm not making a political statement here. I'm just saying that like there clearly are a lot of people in the football league who are they want to express their political beliefs, and whether you agree with it or not, I'm stating facts here. Is like they see that as an opportunity to express their beliefs. They're like, this is a platform. That's how I'm going to use it. That's just what they're doing. So I think a lot of people who do want to do that they're not going to sign up for that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, I want to be able to express blah, blah, blah. So this is not, I mean, like even like without that in that, I could tell it wasn't going to do well because it's called Extreme. Excuse me, it's not called Extreme Football League. It's called X Football League.
XFL. I think they will get plenty of people on the teams because there are so many people that are cut from the NFL. Especially by that point of the year, they have all of the season.
Yeah, for people who don't have an outlet to play football anywhere else. Yeah, that's who.
And the people that have graduated college didn't get drafted into the NFL, or didn't make it past the preseason and all of that. They'll have people on there. I'm curious how well it will be viewed, because back then, like there was problems with getting people to watch it, getting it on cable providers and all of that sort of deal. Now you have all the live streaming and Facebook Live and YouTube and Twitch and all of that. So I'm curious to see how it does. I don't think it's going to go well, though.
I don't think so either. Like the last one, it said it only ran for a single season in 2001.
Yeah.
I could see the exact same thing happening again.
Yeah. And $100 million for something that's already failed once.
Yeah, like it's not.
It just doesn't make. It's not smart. It's business.
It's moves. Not. It's really not.
It just it boggles my mind. Now, there's one last one. I just remembered.
You lied to me.
I did. Now, this is smart business.
Mm-hmm.
2018, Game of Thrones is taking a year off from airing stuff. And they will finish their recording, their filming, by the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming from Maisie Williams. She did an interview, and she let the cat out of the bag that in April of 2019, that's when the new season of Game of Thrones will start airing.
Ooh.
And it's, of course, the final season of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
She was saying there's a lot of editing and special effects that has to be added in.
Oh,
and
sure, because
so
there's going to be, big battles.
Yeah,
happening.
big battles with
dragons.
3 dragons and all that. Night Walkers, White Walkers, and whatever else. Night Walkers, don't get those confused with the people that are on the street corners.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it that they said they were going to be filming or there was at least a rumor that they were going to be filming multiple endings?
They were going to film
because of all the leaks that happened with the last season.
No one will know what the real ending actually is.
Yeah.
So, April 2019, quite a ways away.
It is.
It's over a year.
Just barely, though.
It's over a year. If I wanted to watch something right now, I'm just kidding. I don't have any releases, but I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Game of Thrones definitely has felt different since they went off the books, but it hasn't been bad. It's been very fan servicey.
That's a problem that a lot of shows, especially starting around the early aughts, they'll go on in the first. I'm not saying that the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones have been bad. I personally haven't been watching it just because I haven't had time. But a lot of shows that they kind of start getting away from form is they become there's nothing wrong with catering to fans occasionally because you want to keep them interested.
Yeah.
But whenever it gets to a point where they do it all the time, and I do have a specific show in mind, that's whenever the writing goes down.
Yeah.
Because they're not staying to what made them good in the first place. Now there are shows that can handle both. It's oh haha, some jokes for the fans to enjoy, but it's still true to form.
Yeah.
But then others, it's just totally different, and it's see, fans, we're doing this stuff for you, and it's and a lot of people buy into it. It's look, they're doing it for us, and I'm yeah, but that's not why you started liking the show. And there's a difference between a show staying the exact same and a show there's a difference between a show developing and then a show totally changing.
Yeah,
2 very different things.
Definitely. So I don't think it's gotten to that.
No. I don't think it has.
But the Extreme Football League, definitely.
So bad. Yeah,
you've changed so much.
Obviously they couldn't help but to not go off the books, but it reminds me of getting a little nerdy here. Whatever.
It is the Nerd Kid podcast.
The original Full Metal Alchemist anime.
Yeah.
It was coming out the same time the manga was still being released.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, they were they caught up and they were well, I guess we're going to keep going. And they went way off the tracks. It's it ends with them coming to our world, and it's World War II. It's really weird. I never watched it because my friends were watch Brotherhood, because they went back and they redid it with Brotherhood, and the manga was totally out by then. So they actually were able to make it more like the manga.
Yeah, and February 19th is when the live action...
Most anime live actions suck.
That's what's been said about this.
Oh, it looks so good though, except for the fact that Winry's brunette.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I was looking at some reviews earlier. It said it was pretty bad.
That's the thing, is that a lot of stuff where it's when they first start showing stuff for it, you're this looks really cool, and then people are it's not.
Well, it just anime, there is a right way to make it. Live action.
It could transfer well to the screen, but so far, people who do transfer to the screen have not done it well.
Yeah, and it's just like superhero movies for a very long time. They were not done right.
Yeah.
And some people still don't do it completely right.
Nope.
It takes real fan. Look at JJ when he restarted Star Wars.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. And I actually, there was something that came out, George Lucas was actually wanting to do with The Last Jedi.
Ooh.
And it was Luke, like he had his own Jedi temple and everything, and he was training people, but he seemed a little bit off and a little bit dark and everything.
Oh.
So like he was actually the main focus during all of that, and like him training, and there was a strong female lead, Rey, but it was a different name. It was like Kiara or something like that. But you didn't see him like disappear or anything like that. Like he wasn't like how The Force Awakens was like trying to find him. Like he was there from the get-go and everything. So
that would have been interesting to see. But at the same time, it would have been really sad to see Luke turn dark.
I don't think he was like completely dark,
but
he was just
more like, was he like cynical more so?
Because there wasn't there wasn't a lot of detail of like what they were meaning by dark. Like he was just kind of old, I guess. I'm not sure.
My guess is that it was probably more dark, just because I mean, when you say, and you're talking about Star Wars, no matter who you are writing an article or something, if you say dark, you know what people are going to assume by that.
Yeah.
And that could have been interesting, but yeah, like I prefer the more like the old cynical Luke, who was like, this needs to stop. Like, too much bad stuff happened just because he regretted a choice he made, which we all went into that in Roundtable. So yeah, I think it could have been interesting, but I loved Force Awakens. It was so good.
Yeah, the ship has already sailed, but it was interesting to see where George wanted to take the series and everything.
I know that just going back to the anime thing, that I believe it was Warner Brothers bought the rights to make an Attack on Titan movie.
Yes, I want to say so. Yeah.
Because I know that the one that came out was like 2015.
Yeah, something like that. The 2-part.
Yeah, the 2-part just garbage fest. That was that movie. Was exactly that. It was a garbage fest of a movie.
They didn't listen to Poster Man.
No, they did not.
But Poster Man showed up in 2017, so you couldn't really.
That's true. It's true. That was Poster Man's origin story. He saw the movie and he's like, no,
I must write this wrong. Stop being garbage.
So I am curious to see how they will do it.
When they do it.
Yeah, when they do it.
That's the problem.
Because we all know Warner Brothers has done some not great things.
Yep. Not as bad as Fox.
No, not as bad as Fox. But they've also done some good things. Like
Harry Potter.
Yeah, they did the Harry Potter movies, and like they're not perfect by any means, but
they're really good.
They are really good. Yeah. And so I think that if they do something closer along those lines, like they try to make it more like that. I mean, granted, they were able to make Harry Potter like kids movies. Attack on Titan could not be a kids movie.
No,
the first episode, you see his mom get eaten like
like in half. Just
but I just find it interesting where it's like the script and everything. I mean, for books, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Because there's too much information to pack into one movie, except for the first 2 movies. They were really short books. Come on, guys. No, the first 2 were fine. But it's like, you literally already, like, I understand, like, CGI. Like, I get, like, having to cut some corners there because it's expensive. But, like, you know what it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like. So I don't understand why they try to change it so much. Like,
you've already got a template there. Why make your job harder?
Yeah, seriously, it's like it's already there. Just get people to like reenact it. Like I love like whenever like there's like fan made stuff, and like they don't have access to super expensive CGI, but they have some like film software on their laptops that they can do, and like it'll look exactly like like the original content. And I'm like, how can high school or like like a bunch of like young adults, like college age students, make something like this
with a $200 camera.
Yeah, with $200 camera in
Final Cut Pro.
Yeah, Final Cut Pro. Make this look better than a multi-million-dollar like film studio.
This doesn't make any sense.
No, but it goes back to what you were saying. Like it's all about like loving it, like like having the heart, like being a fan for it. Like with the, I think we've talked about this before, like, but with, I mean, this is video games, but like with the Sonic Mania game, which I believe was originally a fan concept, like, and people loved it because it was so true to the original form of the Sonic games, but it's because people who loved it made it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that people who work on projects such as video games or films, they don't love the project they're working on, but they're different worlds.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's not like it's too much of politics and
and it's also people's like, oh, you love the project you're working on because you're working on it, but then it's at the same time like you have to meet a deadline, you have to meet quota and stuff like that. Whereas the fans, it's like they're doing it because they're doing it in their free time. They're doing it because they really, really want to do it.
Well, you've got all these stuffy executives that just want to make money.
Yeah, they're just in it for the profit.
So, that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the problem. You know what we're passionate about here?
What are we passionate about?
Bringing you the best content available. That's what we do here.
Yes.
Each and every week. We hope that you enjoyed episode 241. We're moving closer and closer to 250.
What are we going to do for 250? Are we doing anything special?
I don't know. Let me see when that lands.
Okay.
We'll go from there. If you want to support the show, get it early, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. You can check it out there. You can get the podcast version, the audio only. You can get the video version as well, and all the awesome stuff that goes along with it, from raffles to podcast segments, bonus podcast segments, to exclusive videos, to early access to seasonal content. It's all over there at patreon.com/nerdcave. Check it out. It's made things happen, like our set here, and the things that we're doing with all the seasonal content is making things happen.
Yeah, get the Patreon now because Nerd Caves and Dragons is going to be coming up very soon.
Yes.
It's too soon.
February 12th. That's when the first one comes out. And
it's
then
for Patreon supporters. Yes.
Yeah. And then all of the Joe Schmoes that don't support us over there, we love you too, as long as you share and like and subscribe and just keep watching and talking to us. You can get that on February 19th, which is President's Day.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah. So they all worked out somehow. It's like we planned it out. So you can be like the awesome people that support us over at patreon.com, make things happen. We have a ton of goals that we want to hit. Yeah. There's a bunch of goals on there.
There are a bunch of goals.
So check it all out if you want to. Link is down in the description. And come back for Nerdcade Plus during the week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Check out the podcast. Subscribe to it. Rate it. Rate this show as well. Helps the discoverability. Share everything. And just keep remembering that don't be garbage.
Posterman 2017. Should we start saying Posterman 2018, even though he started Posterman 2017?
Well, he said it in 2017.
Okay, I see.
Like he has to have a revelation.
Okay. Well, you have to have a Posterman quote for 2018. You have to have one for each year, but don't be garbage is the
2017 Posterman quote.
Mm-hmm.
We got to come up with the 2018 one.
It'll come to us. Posterman will tell us.
Yes, he will. He'll come through with a big poster.
He'll be like, "This is the new quote for 2018." We're like, "Posterman, it's ingenious."
Yep. He's like, "I know. No one thought I could top. Don't be garbage." But he did, and he will.
He will.
We trust you, Posterman. Just like you trust us, guys. We hope you enjoyed episode 241. This has been Zach.
And Allie.
Have a blessed week.